With the core of the locomotive in place, I now had to build out the complex network of linkages. Each linkage has a pretty straightforward design, and I relied on the sketch picture to keep them true to the real big boy. I slowly added each one, making sure to refer back to the reference images to see how they were built and how their pivot points were designed. The connecting rod has washers in between it and 3 of the 4 driving wheels to aid with smooth spinning. These are M3 washers, since I'll be using M3 screws as the pivot shaft. Because these screws need to clear the holes in the connecting rod, but need to bite down on the plastic in the driving wheels, I first needed to determine these hole diameters. The easiest way to do this is with a unit test, a small test print that captures the critical feature for rapid iteration. Here we have both M2 and M3 screw holes. One is for screwing into, and the other is for testing clearance. After about 3 reprints, adjusting the hole dimensions each time, I was able to nail down the proper hole sizes for our Markforged X7 FDM printer and our Formlabs Form 4 SLA printer, which will be the 2 printers that we'll be using for this project. After modifying the relevant hole dimensions to match the dimensions from my unit test, I finished attaching the connecting rod by adding the last 3 concentric mates to the 3 remaining driving wheels. Now we can test the motion for any abnormalities. With this connecting rod in place, it's really starting to come together and look like the real thing. For clearances between mating linkages, I used 0.4 millimeters or 0.2 millimeters on either side to create enough slop for parts to pivot around each other freely. I used that same clearance between the crosshead and crosshead guide. Once the piston was in place, I knew how large the stroke was using the distance between the crank and center of the wheel. I could use this information, plus the lengths of the main rod and piston shaft, to ensure the cylinder was centered about this stroke length. Of course, for this webinar, I'm going back and reassembling this design, so there are features that weren't there before that I can easily mate to now. For instance, these screw holes make aligning the cylinder to the chassis very easy, but these were added much later in the design process, so I had to mate off distance initially, mathematically determining that the cylinder center plane had to be 191.56 millimeters away from drive wheel C's origin. From here, it was just a bunch of rinse and repeat to build out all the linkages. Most of the mates were just concentric, coincident, and with mates, but I did have to use a path mate temporarily to mate the radius rod's die block inside the bean-shaped expansion link slot. I used a percentage along path to constrain it within the profile to make testing the system at different positions in the expansion link easier. A best practice while creating mates is to avoid overcomplicating the degrees of freedom. For instance, on this union link, I mated it to be concentric to both the combination lever and the crosshead. I used a width mate to center it about the combination lever, and that's all we need. I could definitely have added another width mate to the crosshead, but that would just be adding unnecessary complexity to this assembly, meaning it's just one more thing to cause SOLIDWORKS to crash, cause an error, or add additional mate calculations during a motion study, and add time to opening the assembly. Plus, I modeled this piece of the crosshead to be in line with the combination lever, so we wouldn't need to add another mate. I knew how long the union link needed to be, so I could just use the measure tool to determine the dimensions for the piece of geometry on the crosshead that would join the union link to the combination lever. This measure tool is critical for avoiding those pesky external references and helps make everything fit nicely together and to test motion freely. At this point, the major motion systems of the model were complete, and I could verify the system was functioning as intended.